Have you ever wondered what's quietly stealing years from your life after age 75? The truth is, most deaths in this age group aren't random or inevitable. They stem from just 5 preventable causes. In this video, we're diving deep into these silent threats, revealing why they matter and how you can take control of your health to live longer, stronger, and happier. Stick with us, because knowing these risks could be the key to unlocking decades of vitality. Many assume aging naturally leads to decline, but that's a myth we're debunking today. Heart diseases, falls, respiratory illnesses, strokes, and cognitive decline claim countless lives. Yet small, everyday choices can drastically reduce their impact. Whether you're over 75, approaching this milestone, or caring for loved ones, this video is your roadmap to staying active, independent, and vibrant. You'll discover practical steps, like diet tweaks, simple exercises, and home safety tips that make a real difference. Don't miss the surprising insights that could catch you off guard, like how a single fall can change everything or why your blood pressure might be a silent ticking time bomb. By watching to the end, you'll gain actionable strategies to protect your heart, lungs, brain, and mobility. These aren't just tips, they're life-changing tools to help you or your loved ones thrive. Your future self deserves this knowledge, so let's start this journey together and empower you to shape a healthier, more fulfilling life. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Heart disease. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death for those over 75, yet the vast majority of people remain blissfully unaware of the profound impact they can have on their heart health. The heart, like any muscle in the body, responds to care and attention. It thrives when nourished, but it deteriorates when neglected. What makes heart disease especially insidious is its ability to sneak up on you. Its symptoms can be silent, lingering just beneath the surface until it's far too late. So many of us dismiss feelings of fatigue, shortness of breath, or even the slowing down that accompanies aging as inevitable, something we simply have to accept as part of growing older. But here's the hard truth. These are warning signs. These seemingly insignificant cues are the heart's cries for help, signs that it's starting to weaken, that it's struggling to keep up with the demands we're placing on it. The danger isn't just that you won't notice these symptoms. It's that you might dismiss them as normal until a heart attack or stroke occurs and suddenly, your world is turned upside down. High blood pressure is the silent killer that often triggers heart disease. Over time, chronic hypertension places an unbearable strain on your arteries, forcing your heart to labor endlessly, working harder than it should. The thing about high blood pressure is that it doesn't announce itself with pain or discomfort. You might feel perfectly fine, no warning signs, no immediate discomfort, until it's too late. And that's why so many seniors end up in emergency rooms, shocked, devastated, and completely blindsided. They never realized their health had been slipping away. Equally destructive is an unhealthy diet, one packed with processed foods, excess salt, and fats that slowly poison the body from the inside. It's a gradual, creeping process, clogging arteries, restricting blood flow, weakening the very system that keeps us alive. But here's the thing, simply cutting out the bad foods isn't enough. To truly nourish your heart, you have to bring in the good stuff. Heart-healthy foods that provide essential nutrients and keep your cardiovascular system strong. Without these nourishing foods, your heart won't have the resilience it needs to survive the years ahead. It's like trying to run a car on empty. Eventually, it'll stall. Lack of physical activity is another huge culprit in the decline of heart health. The heart isn't meant to remain idle. Without movement, your circulation slows, your muscles weaken, and the heart isn't stimulated in the way it needs to function properly. Now, you don't have to become a marathon runner to maintain heart health. But simple, consistent movement, Whether it's taking a walk around the block, stretching out your arms, or even doing chair exercises, can make all the difference. The smallest acts of movement can provide the vital stimulation your heart needs to stay strong. One of the most harmful beliefs surrounding heart disease is that it's simply a matter of fate, that it's either genetic or an inevitable consequence of aging. But that's a dangerous myth. The truth is, our daily choices, what we eat, how we move, how we manage stress, are the true determinants of our heart's future. The power is in your hands. You are not a passive bystander to your heart's fate. Every decision you make, from the foods you choose to the steps you take each day, has the potential to keep your heart strong and healthy. So, if there's one message you should take from all of this, it's this: you have more control over your heart health than you realize. Your decisions today could determine whether your heart remains resilient in the years to come. And now, today, is the best time to start making those changes. Your heart's future is in your hands. Number 2. Falls and injuries among the elderly. It's often said that time waits for no one, and nowhere is that more apparent than in the aging process. The most dangerous and tragically overlooked threat to our seniors isn't a terminal disease, it's a fall. It happens in the blink of an eye, an innocent misstep, or a sudden moment of dizziness, and everything changes in an instant. The repercussions can be profound and, often, life-altering. What was once a simple misstep can result in a fractured hip, head trauma, or an injury that, at first glance, seems minor but spirals into something far more devastating. What truly breaks my heart is how unprepared so many are for this silent, constant danger. Our bodies grow weaker over time, but the gradual nature of this decline often goes unnoticed. We may feel invincible, walking across the room, reaching up for a dish, feeling stable, confident, even comfortable in our own homes, until one day, that balance slips away. That single moment of misfortune can be the start of a downward spiral that shatters independence and diminishes the quality of life. The statistics are terrifying, and they can't be ignored. Every year, millions of seniors are sent to emergency rooms due to falls, and tragically, it's often more than just a physical injury. It's the beginning of permanent decline. A broken hip might seem like a temporary setback to some, but the reality is it can confine you to a bed for months, rob you of mobility, and introduce a host of life-threatening complications like infections. The irony? Most people don't realize just how fragile their bodies have become until they fall. What makes this even more insidious is the insidious cycle that begins after a fall. Fear, once you've been through it, can be paralyzing. You may feel hesitant to even take a simple walk around the block, unsure if your legs will hold up, afraid of another slip. That fear starts to affect every aspect of your life. Staying indoors more, avoiding stairs, curtailing physical activity altogether. But here's where it gets dangerous. The less you move, the weaker your muscles become, and as your muscles weaken, the more likely you are to fall again. It's a vicious, destructive loop that robs seniors of their independence, leaving them more vulnerable than ever. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But let me say this, it doesn't have to be this way. Prevention isn't some far-off dream. It's a very real, attainable goal, and it starts with small, deliberate changes. Strengthening your legs and core is key, as is actively working on your balance. Those simple adjustments can make all the difference between maintaining independence and experiencing a devastating fall. One of the most overlooked contributors to falls is medications. Certain prescriptions can cause dizziness, drowsiness, or disrupt your blood pressure, all increasing the risk of falls. Have you ever stood up too quickly, only to feel faint or dizzy? Your body might be trying to tell you something important. Perhaps it's time to have a conversation with your doctor about how your medications could be affecting your balance and alertness. It might not seem urgent, but it could save your life. We cannot afford to ignore the risks that come with aging. Avoiding falls isn't just about keeping obstacles out of the way. It's about maintaining physical strength and mental sharpness, and being fully aware of how small, everyday choices can have such a profound impact on our future. We owe it to ourselves to embrace the strategies that prevent these devastating injuries before they occur. We owe it to ourselves to preserve our independence for as long as possible. Number 3. Respiratory diseases. Breathing is a vital, yet often overlooked, part of our lives. It's something we do without even thinking, until suddenly, it becomes a struggle. As we age, our bodies inevitably change, and one of the most significant changes happens in the lungs. The efficiency of our respiratory system begins to decline, and what may once have been a simple act of breathing can quickly become a challenge. What was once natural, taking a deep breath, may suddenly leave us gasping for air, even when we least expect it. It's easy to brush off a fleeting shortness of breath or a little wheezing, dismissing it as just part of getting older. But here's the truth. These minor issues could be harbingers of something much more serious. When we reach the age of 75 and beyond, respiratory diseases emerge as one of the leading causes of death, not because they are inevitable, but because they often go unnoticed until it's too late. Diseases like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, which includes emphysema and chronic bronchitis, can slowly but steadily take their toll. Over time, the airways in the lungs become inflamed and constricted, making it harder and harder to catch your breath. The simple act of breathing, something we all take for granted, becomes an exhausting task. It's heartbreaking how many older adults fail to recognize the early signs of respiratory distress, thinking that persistent coughing, wheezing, or breathlessness are just normal signs of aging. But this isn't just a part of getting older. It's a sign that the lungs are struggling, fighting to keep up with the demands of a body that has spent decades living. And then, there's pneumonia. It may start innocently enough, a cold, a bit of chest congestion, but for seniors, it can quickly spiral into something life-threatening. What seems like a minor infection can escalate quickly, because the immune system naturally weakens with age, leaving the body more vulnerable to complications. What's even more frightening is how many hospital admissions for seniors are caused by pneumonia, and the decline in health that can follow is often so rapid that full recovery is a distant hope. Even the air we breathe in our homes can contribute to these health issues. Years of exposure to dust, smoke, and chemicals, often in ways we don't even realize, can silently damage the lungs. Mold, pet dander, or poor air circulation inside a house can aggravate conditions like asthma or COPD, leaving the lungs even more vulnerable. But there is hope. Small changes in your environment can make all the difference. Using air purifiers, improving airflow, and avoiding secondhand smoke can dramatically improve lung function. One of the most powerful and simple ways to protect your lungs is through physical activity. Even light movement, walking, stretching, or doing simple exercises, helps to keep your lungs strong and healthy. It clears out mucus, allows the lungs to expand fully, and keeps your respiratory system functioning properly. But when we spend too much time sitting, the opposite happens. Lung function starts to decline, and the risk of infections rises. The good news? By staying active, you can protect your lungs from the ravages of time and disease. And let's not forget about the importance of vaccines. Many older adults underestimate how essential it is to get vaccinated against flu, pneumonia, and other respiratory infections. These vaccines are not just preventive measures. They are life-saving tools that protect you from potentially deadly complications. A simple vaccination could mean the difference between staying healthy or being hospitalized. It's easy to neglect, but it's one of the simplest things you can do to safeguard your health. Breathing should never feel like a struggle. Yet for so many people over 75, it does. Not because it has to, but because the necessary steps to protect the lungs weren't taken early enough. Our lungs work tirelessly, day in and day out, to keep us alive. Protecting them, nourishing them with clean air, strengthening them through movement, and taking proactive steps like staying current with vaccinations are some of the best investments you can make in your well-being and independence. You owe it to yourself to cherish and protect the very act that keeps you alive. Your lungs deserve it. Number 4. Stroke. A stroke is one of those silent, merciless events that strikes with no warning and no time to prepare. One moment you're going about your life and the next, everything can change in an instant. It's an insidious condition, silently lurking, and yet it remains one of the leading causes of death for people over 75. What's even more terrifying is the fact that many people don't even realize how many stroke-related risk factors are within their control. Factors that, if managed properly, can change the course of their lives. The scariest part? Once a stroke hits, it doesn't often give you a second chance. The damage it causes is often irreversible, a brutal reminder of how fleeting and fragile our health can be. But here's a shocker. Up to 80% of strokes are preventable. That means the choices you make every single day, the food you eat, how much you move, whether you take your health seriously or not, can determine whether you go on to live a life of independence or face the crippling aftermath of a stroke. It's a harsh reality, but it's also empowering. You have the power to make decisions that could drastically reduce your risk. A stroke happens when blood flow to the brain is suddenly interrupted, either because a blood vessel gets blocked or because it ruptures. In just minutes, brain cells begin to die from a lack of oxygen, and this damage can be irreversible. The aftermath is often catastrophic. Temporary confusion, debilitating weakness, or in the worst cases, paralysis, speech loss, or complete dependence on others. And tragically, strokes are fatal for many. High blood pressure is one of the most common and dangerous contributors to strokes. Over time, the relentless pressure on your arteries can damage them, making them more susceptible to bursting or getting blocked. Here's the problem. High blood pressure is often silent. You can walk around for years without knowing you have it, and by the time symptoms show, it might be too late to turn the tide. That's a terrifying thought. But it doesn't have to be that way. Regular blood pressure checks can catch it early, and the good news is that high blood pressure is treatable. Irregular heart rhythms, such as atrial fibrillation, also play a significant role. Many older adults suffer from this without even realizing it. When your heart beats irregularly, it can cause blood to pool, leading to the formation of dangerous clots. Those clots can break loose and travel to the brain in an instant, causing a stroke in a matter of seconds. Again, here's the silver lining. Regular checkups can catch this condition, and treatments are available to drastically reduce the risk of stroke. But diet and lifestyle choices are perhaps the most controllable factors in reducing your stroke risk. Diets that are high in processed foods, salt, and unhealthy fats clog your arteries and lead to poor circulation. Physical inactivity doesn't help, either. When you're sedentary, your blood thickens, stagnates, and creates the perfect environment for strokes to happen. It doesn't have to be this way. Simple changes, like eating more leafy greens, cutting back on sodium, drinking more water, and staying active, can make a massive difference. These aren't just changes for the sake of living longer. They are the lifelines that can keep you independent, healthy, and vibrant. A mini-stroke, also known as a transient ischemic attack, can be an early warning sign of a larger stroke looming on the horizon. It may cause sudden confusion, blurred vision, or difficulty speaking. The terrifying part? The symptoms often disappear quickly, leading many to dismiss it. But if you experience any of these symptoms, even briefly, don't ignore them. This is your body begging for attention, warning you of the danger ahead. Seeking medical help immediately can be the difference between preventing a stroke and living with lifelong consequences. The bottom line is this: you have control over your stroke risk. By monitoring your blood pressure, adopting a heart-healthy diet, staying active, and being aware of the early warning signs, you can maintain your independence and dramatically reduce your risk of a life-altering stroke. It's never too late to start taking care of yourself. Make today the day you choose health and prevention. Number 5. Cognitive decline and its consequences. The aging process brings with it many challenges, but perhaps one of the most emotionally and mentally taxing is the slow erosion of our cognitive abilities. It's not a sudden fall, It's a gradual shift that sneaks up on us, a slow fade that begins with small, almost imperceptible lapses. At first, it's easy to dismiss these changes. Maybe it's forgetting where you put your keys or having a hard time recalling someone's name. It doesn't feel like a big deal. But over time, those small moments snowball into something much more serious. What starts as an occasional slip-up can eventually turn into profound challenges. Everyday tasks that once felt automatic, balancing a checkbook, recognizing a loved one's face, making decisions with ease, can begin to feel like monumental hurdles. For many, the emotional toll of these changes is just as devastating as the physical loss. There is a growing sense of frustration, helplessness, and fear that creeps in as familiar routines become more difficult to maintain. As cognitive decline deepens, the ability to care for oneself diminishes in ways that many never anticipated. The sharpness of the mind directly impacts the body's ability to function. Forgetting to take crucial medications, failing to eat balanced meals, or not noticing when something's wrong in the body, these aren't just inconveniences, they are potential life-threatening risks. The isolation of not being able to keep up with the demands of life can be heartbreaking, leading to a sense of lost autonomy, and that is one of the most painful aspects of this decline. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Even something as simple as hydration can slip through the cracks, leaving the body in a state of dehydration. Others may struggle with overeating or not eating enough, setting the stage for malnutrition, weight problems, and even more serious health concerns. And the physical risks grow ever greater as memory and judgment fail. The possibility of a forgotten stove burner or an unlocked door becomes a genuine and terrifying risk. A loved one wandering off into unsafe areas can become a distressing reality for families. These are the everyday dangers that accompany cognitive decline, dangers that no one should have to face alone. The most heart-wrenching aspect of cognitive decline is that it often robs individuals of their independence. And for many, the shift is so gradual that they don't even realize it's happening. It's only when they look back, perhaps years later, that they realize how much their mind has changed. Early symptoms, forgetting names, misplacing keys, struggling to focus during conversations, are so often brushed off as just a natural part of aging. Yet, these are the very first signs that the brain is changing. Recognizing these early warning signs is crucial, and by taking steps at this stage, we can slow down the progression and preserve the quality of life for as long as possible. But how do we protect our minds as we age? It begins just as it does with our bodies, through consistent effort. Keeping the brain engaged is essential. Reading, learning new things, playing brain games, or engaging in deep, meaningful conversations all help maintain mental sharpness. It's no different than physical exercise. Movement promotes blood flow, and regular physical activity also contributes to better cognitive health. This connection between body and mind is vital. Then there's the often overlooked power of social interaction. Loneliness can be a silent accelerator of mental decline. Isolation not only deprives the brain of the stimulation it needs, but also deprives the soul of the support and connection it craves. Whether it's a chat with a friend, a family visit, or joining a social group, staying connected provides a profound sense of purpose and mental vitality. And let's not forget the importance of diet. The food we eat plays a central role in the health of our brains. Foods rich in omega-3s, antioxidants, and vitamins, like leafy greens, berries, and nuts, are among the best protectors. Meanwhile, processed foods, too much sugar, and unhealthy fats can inflame the brain and elevate the risk of conditions like dementia. Choosing to nourish your brain is a powerful act of self-care. Ultimately, a healthy brain starts with a healthy lifestyle. The small, mindful decisions we make today, about our food, our physical activity, our social interactions, determine how our minds will function tomorrow. The truth is, cognitive decline is not inevitable. While the process of aging cannot be stopped, we have the power to slow the decline of our mental faculties. As we look at heart disease, stroke, falls, respiratory illnesses, and cognitive decline. These conditions are the leading causes of death after 75. But here's the key point: they aren't inevitable. We have far more control over our health than we realize. By making small, consistent changes in our habits today, we can enjoy better strength, clarity, and independence in the years to come. None of us likes to think about aging, but ignoring it will not shield us from its consequences. What truly protects us is awareness. Awareness of the risks, awareness of the signs, and the steps we can take to prevent them. So, as you reflect on this, think about the power you hold right now. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can do today to protect your future. The small actions you take now can lead to a healthier, stronger, and happier tomorrow. As we wrap up today's video, I hope you've gained valuable insights into how to protect and preserve your mind and body as we age. We've explored the real and tangible ways in which cognitive decline can impact our lives, but also how taking small, consistent steps can help slow this process and maintain our independence. From staying mentally active to nurturing social connections and making smarter dietary choices, each of these decisions plays a crucial role in our health. So, what have you learned so far? What's one thing you can take away from this and start practicing in your daily life? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Please share in the comments below. Remember, it's never too late to make positive changes, and the best time to start is always today. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content for you. Thank you for watching, and here's to a healthier, more mindful future.